Okay, so the next one's kind of a weird one. I don't know why I put this category in here, but I kind of have, and it doesn't really have a funky name, but basically the game that made you smile the most playing it. Basically just either making you laugh, pure enjoyment, or like, you know, satisfying gameplay, something along those lines.
I remember I put down.
And I'm gonna start with Mr. Fruity, as he seems to be giving a giggle with it.
It's just like, what did I write down? It's like, oh yeah. Well, for me, I put Monster Hunter.
I had a feeling it was going to be Monster Hunter. But is that because you played the older one, so a lot of this might have been...
Yeah, there's definitely a nostalgia from the whole Freedom and Unite on PSP. And yeah, it was nearly... I was always going to put it in my favourite multiplayer. But I was like...
What, with me? God.
But it was enjoyable, because it's kind of like watching you grow in understanding of how to play Monster Hunter. And it's like, he's learning!
I'm much better at it now than I was.
Everything you need to equip and everything you need to do to like, prepare for these and stuff. Like
that game's brutal. that game is
just so much has a learning curve as it just has like a
brick wall.
It's just like you just go up. And there's like no options.
I mean, if you watched me play it the first time, I just kept drinking all my health potions instead of attacking. So
like no lie, like me and my like group of friends back home when they came out, like we were like, I don't know, 15, 16, maybe a bit older. Yeah, we easily put over 300 hours into the first one, and then easily put about 300 into Unite. So in those two games, like the expansion and the main game, we must have done like near 700 hours.
Yeah. Jesus Christ!
I've
never played Monster Hunter. I don't even know what genre of game it is.
Action
I know
adventure.
they had Monster Hunter Try on the Wii.
Yeah, I had Monster Hunter Try.
It's like crafting.
Yeah, kind of.
It's just like a hunting like RPG basically. You have missions, you go and like hunt something, or you go to collect something, and you use that to make better gear, and then just keep rinsing and repeating.
It's got a very addictive core loop, hasn't it?
It's really satisfying as well when you like, get to that next level of hunters. I think this is also one of the few games I've actually completed. It's like it's been a while since I've like completed something. I completed the entirety of like the single player.
There's a lot of content in it. Yeah. So much content, because I've hardly even used other than the weapon. I've used like sword and shield primarily.
It's another thing. They all got different like attacks and different like combos, and like different trees of like upgrading and advantages, disadvantages.
Yeah, it's a really good game, but like I can see when you play it multiplayer, and I can imagine when you've got a party of 4, like so much strategy goes into doing it.
Yeah, and you have like the balance of the different weapons. Like having like people like to like take the aggro, like the tanks to take the aggro. You have like range people to like poison and like weaken targets, and
I can see that. It doesn't surprise me that being your answer, because
so good.
It's a lot of fun. Like I don't really like playing a lot of it on my own, mainly because it's so much to do. Like in multiplayer, like I kind of get it because you're working together, to, and trying to upgrade different stuff and whatnot. But like on my own, I'm looking, going, oh my god, there is like. It's quite nerve-wracking if you're not used to the series, because there is just a stack of content.
Yeah, because it's like before each mission when you're like the multiplayer hub, it's like, oh, look at what I got from the last mission, see if I can make anything, see what I want to make, and it's like, oh, so you like go and get the cats to cook for you, so you get like buffs, go and make sure you got your Psycho Serum to find it, paintballs to market, like all the healing potions, like whetstones, like if you got like a bow or like a short sword, like poisons and stuff, and there's just so much stuff that goes into that game. That's why I love it. That level of strategy to that game. I've never found a game that's like scratches that itch.
Yeah.
Of just like having that sense of achievement, and like there's just so many levels to it. Then once you've played a game before in the series and you
understand
everything to expect, so you can easily like get back to where you were. And it's pretty much pure skill when you get to like halfway through the game, so because it's only so prepared you can be with items and stuff.
And, some of those enemies though, like there's a couple of them that like most of them I think are fair. There's a couple of them I think they've got a few attacks you're just like but
it reminds me back at the end of like Unite with the Fatalists and stuff. Insane. So hard.
But I'll tell you what, that game definitely showed me something I didn't know about myself, which is I keep trying to kill animals that are asleep. You can knock out animals in it.
Oh, I did not know myself about this about myself.
You can basically, there are two ways. You can kill a creature, or you can capture it. And the amount of times we capture one, I'm like, why can't I skin it? I just want to skin the animal and kill it.
Yeah, it's like normally when
now I know that when I'm out in the wild, or if I see a sleeping animal, I immediately want to kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many times where like you keep hitting it until like it kind of like limps or it shows signs of like being hurt. So when you can lay down traps and capture it, and you just knock it out with like a tranquilizer. Yeah, the amount of times, maybe I tried to skin it, but it's asleep.
I need to.
So we're taking it back to camp, and then we're going to cut it up for the better
I'm
rewards.
just there, like stood there, like come on.
Yeah.
That's it.
Another game then. I like every time like me and Mark speak, it's like I have nothing to say. Like I haven't played that game.
Nothing about this game.
It's like I haven't played that game. I haven't played that game.
That's the part of it.
I can't even remember your last two games. That you mentioned. Oh no, StarCraft 2, but the other two.
Oh yeah,
Darkest Dungeon.
Not the other two. Levi, what's your
Oh, you want to get?
smiled the most?
Ooh.
Okay, so
breaking the pattern.
I know. I feel
Thought I'd
like
throw in that curve.
I know, right? It caught me off guard. I feel like this one's pretty obvious as well, but I mean, basically, I didn't expect Doom to be as enjoyable.
That's kind of expected.
Yeah.
That makes you sound like a sadist. I smiled so much when I was ripping people's head off.
Well, the thing about the reason why Doom did two things to me, but essentially, one was I haven't played a game that the gunplay felt that satisfying. I mean, whether it's the guns or the BFG or the chainsaw or whatever, the fact that game, like, from the word go is just like, here's a demon, twat, right, he's dead, right, next thing. You never feel like you're in a boring moment, and because you get so many weapons that have varying fire modes and stuff as the game goes on, and then you can unlock masteries from them, you never feel like you're underpowered. You always feel like you're quite overpowered. And I was watching a documentary about it earlier. You are essentially the enemy of these demons, because you murder so many demons, and one of the best upgrades or power-ups you can pick up is called Berserk, and you just use your fists. And you just hit the button, you go up to a demon, you twat his head off, right next one, you rip him in half, and it lasts for about 20 seconds, and no matter what, if you're in a room of things, that doesn't get, just swinging your fist, and then you run up to someone, it's like, smack, right, your fist has gone through him, right, you ripped his heart out, and I was just like, this game, and I completed it today, and I was just like, this game is just, like, what FPSs like were to me when I was a kid, when I played Unreal Tournament, that quick pace of and satisfying gameplay. And then playing this, I was just like, wow, like, I'm so glad this game exists, and like, I know that it's been on PC and other consoles and it runs a bit better on those, looks better. Like, the fact that I was smiling the whole time, I couldn't believe it was on the Switch. It was just mind-blowing. And then the multiplayer, I don't think I'd even touched the multiplayer, and I played it, I was like, wow, this is great! And like, I was so shocked. I mean, it's not the most complex multiplayer ever, it's like, you know, your team deathmatch, capture the flag and all that, but like, there's something really satisfying about it, and I haven't had that out of this whole first-person shooter thing. I haven't played a first-person shooter this good in years.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up loving Quake 3, Unreal Tournament, Time Splitters, you know, even GoldenEye and stuff like that. Like, really good shooters. The first Halo, and then there was a period of time when I just fell off it. Even the early Call of Duties I enjoyed and played those multiplayer, and then everything just went very scripted, and it was all about like, you know, kill-death ratio and all this stuff, and it kind of lost, you know, realistic weapons or whatever, and kind of lost that enjoyment for me, which was, I just want to play a game that's quite quick, you know, it's quite fun to run around, and this blew me away. Like, I could not stop smiling playing this game. Every time I picked it up, I was like, something cool would happen. You get a new glory kill, and I'd like meet a new enemy and like pull out his eyeball and then punch him down the throat, or like the final boss, spoilers, you get the BFG, you just shove it in his mouth and you just blow his fucking head off, and you're just like, yes, it was amazing. And it was like that cool moments the entire time, and I was like, this is just amazing. And yeah, I had a big grin from side to side, and you know, if I ever meet a demon, I'll just kick his head off. Yeah, it's a wonderful game. You know, if you're a masochist, this is beautiful for you.
Sounds like a power fantasy.
It is, basically. You know, it's a wonderful homage to the original Doom, to the original Quake, all those games, in a day and age where you don't get many games like that. It was a wonderful experience. Mr. Mark, what was the game that you played this year that made you smile the most?
Well, I've gone, in terms of smile the most, I've kind of gone like, literally smile as in like laugh.
Yeah. Okay, laughing's fun.
Yeah.
I cleared this with you earlier, and you said I was allowed to put it on the list, even though it's not technically a video game. Jackbox TV,
Yeah.
which I discovered like a few weeks ago at a friend's house. There's about 5 or 6 of us playing it, and then I played it again last week with you, and then today with you two. And yeah, it's just really fun. Like, I know I've played a different pack to you, so I've played some different modes and stuff, but it's just a really good idea for a game, like a mobile thing, and put your answers in, and I just like how there's loads of different modes as well. There's like, I'm not very good at the drawing one, but the drawing one is quite interesting, and there's the faker one where everyone gets asked a question, but then one person gets asked a different question, and then all the answers go on the screen, and you have to guess who's like the one that got asked the other question. And it's funny because the other answer is just so irrelevant to like the rest of them, or it will be vaguely like in the same category, but it will be like something completely like that does not go. Kind of thing. Yeah, I just laughed a lot playing it. That's when I smiled the most. I was like, oh yeah,
completely valid. Completely valid. Yeah.
Laughed a lot playing it with you guys.
Fibbage is great.
And like, particularly when I played it at Simon's, because I was really drunk. And there's like 6 of us. I was like pissing myself laughing.
I think the more people you add, the better time you're gonna have.
And there was just some like great answers from people who were just like, "That's amazing." I
will say, like, shitting on an otter, probably not my best answer.
It's got that kind of like
Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, but also like they used to play like Buzz. And, like the whole like TV shows, like watching like quiz shows with your parents and all trying to like get the answers. Even like a bit of like Pictionary, like there's so much like stuff that goes into that. Like it's a good amalgamation of that whole like quiz setup.
Kind of party game, party quiz game.
I think it's good when you play it with friends if you kind of know them, because like, I find that there was a lot of answers that were popping up that you may have thought I put up, my sister did, my partner did, and actually a lot of the time I didn't. A lot of the answers I was giving were kind of similar to what they were wanting, or they weren't the answers that people thought I was going to put up anyway.
It plays it well because like when like the not Fibbage, Fibbage would play.
Yeah, Fibbage, yeah.
Like I like how it like double bluffs you in like some of the answers that the computer does, where they do actually sound like answers that someone would put up. Like I really like the way they've like structured their like randomized answers and stuff. Like it's really good balance. Like it doesn't play itself too straight.
Yeah.
Which works really well. Like if it was a very dry quiz, like University Challenge or something, it just wouldn't work.
No,
because it has that kind of like lightheartedness to it. Yeah, it's a really good
you
party
and me kept
game.
picking the same answers or each other. Yeah. That was strange.
That round where we pretty much had exactly the same score to the last one. We just kept doing the same.
There's always a lot of questions where like the actual answer is something more bizarre than you would expect it to be. Like it's even crazier than what you think.
Like the rhino with the Tinder thing, but yeah.
Yeah, like that's ridiculous. Yeah,
it's a bit like QI in that case.
Yeah.
Where like you see it and you're like, nah, it can't be that one. So you look at all the answers, you're like, nah. It's like, oh, that one's too normal. That one's far too weird. It must be one of these. And you click on it and it's like, oh shit, it was the weird answer.
Yeah.
It's got that whole QI thing when you're like, I'm not gonna say the obvious thing here.
Yeah,
it's a trap.
I still want to play the what's it called? The one with the where they compete, the answers compete.
Oh, bracketeering
with like 6 or
that'd be amazing.
5 or 6 people or more. Because that's quite an interesting concept where you vote. Like it's fairly simple. Like you just vote for what your favourite is, but it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
But you fucking chose Top Loader over Tool, you bastard.
Because it was my answer.
Top Loader, is that Dancing?
The Moonlight, yeah.
Dancing
That was so good. And then it was Audio Slave versus whatever your other answer was.
Yeah.
And I beat that as well.
There was the animal one as well.
We were going for Nickelback.
Dolphin over Sloth.
This is named 2 bands, so. Yeah, Dolphin Sloth thing. No, I total valid answer for this category. I think, in terms of games, it's absolutely hilarious. I mean, some of the answers that come out of it are just amazing.
Yeah.
And I want to play this game with about 8 people.
It did make me laugh a lot. Hence, smiled the most.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, let's move on. Let's get a bit somber in here. Like this is most disappointing, or like the game that was just turned out to be a bit meh. Really. Now, unless yours is the same, we're going to start with you, I think, and see what you've got for this.
Oh, you mean the same as my last?
Yeah.
No, my most disappointing is Elite Dangerous.
Another game I've not heard of.
This game's huge. This isn't an indie game.
No.
Massive PC
This
game.
was like, it's like Kickstarter, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, 'cause you think, my backstory, the sci-fi punk band, really into sci-fi, like live sci-fi, read sci-fi, do sci-fi, like just read like We Are Legion, We Are Bob, a really cool like new sci-fi book, kind of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yes, anyway. But yeah, so Elite Dangerous, you think like, piloting a little spaceship around space, going into little ports, little flight simmy. Like, this would be right up David's alley. This would be like, this is what he lives for. This is like, this is his niche. But no,
This game's hard.
It was everything I didn't want it to be. I wanted to like bomb around the galaxy, have fun, do some trading missions, do some like, exploring, maybe get a little dogfight. And yeah, kept getting confused with like the phases of like launch, and if I had like my flight like landing gear out, and like what form of like space travel I was in to get like flying past the space station, so going really, really slowly. And like I started like getting the hang of it, like in like the 7 or 8 hours I played. Then I just realised like this wasn't for me. I was like kind of grinding into the spaceship, trying to work out how to land, like where the door was in the spaceship to get in. It's just like, no. It's like if I had the patience and the time.
You need a flight stick to play it, really.
Yeah, like a VR headset. Like, I imagine it'd be like, it's amazing. So I was like looking around, it's like, this is so cool. This is so like space-like.
I played it in VR.
There's a planet. Like, look, there's a space station. This looks so cool. But I just, no. I was like, you know what?
We've had like a time.
Not this game. Like, there'd be another game out there for me. It's like, this wasn't the one. This wasn't. I was so looking forward to it. Like, I can finally like set aside some time and play this.
I mean, you might like the moon buggy bit where you can get around the planet and drive a moon buggy around.
It's like Mass Effect.
Yeah, it's like better.
You're like around like the barren place to try and scan things.
Yeah.
But yeah. This game's not very niche, Mark. You're gonna be like,
this game's
gonna be like, why are you saying all these weird, like, small games?
I'm pretty sure my older brothers put like 1,000 hours or something into that
If you
game.
played more PC stuff, you'd be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't heard anything that's like super niche. Actually,
no, everything's
been pretty big launches. Anyway,
I know what yours is gonna be, but Mr. Mark, what is your most disappointing game?
Mine was The Legend of Zelda Breath of... No, I'm joking.
You bastard.
Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
So I had been meaning to play this game for years, and I didn't have access to my Game Boy at the time that I wanted to play it. So I just never got around to playing it. I thought, right, this is considered to be a great game. It's a 90s Zelda game. Came out a year after Link to the Past. Everyone loves it. It's my mate Rory's favourite Zelda game. I was like, right, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. I've heard great things about this game. And I started playing it, and I was like, there's some good music. Like, I quite like some of the music in it. But I don't know, like one of the things I found most frustrating about it is that you have to swap your items like all the time. So you get like obviously a sword, you get like the boots things that make you run, you get the
Rock's feather.
Power
glove.
The bracelet thing that allows you to lift up rocks. But instead of like them making the bracelet like a permanent thing, so they didn't have to occupy an item slot with it, they still made you change into it and then out of it again when you need to use something else. And I just felt like whenever I was doing anything, mostly in dungeons, like you're constantly changing the items all the time, and it just made it like just frustrating. It wasn't a very seamless experience.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the overworld that much. I didn't really like the graphical style. I think I probably shouldn't have had such high expectations, considering you go from Link to the Past and then you go back to like Game Boy graphics. It's obviously going to be a bit of a step back, so obviously there's that reason. But yeah, I just didn't really like the art style of it. There were some nice touches in it. Like there were definitely some of the dungeon design was good.
Yeah.
But generally, I found it like not as good as like other 2D dungeons. Like I think the dungeons in the original Zelda are like better than some of the dungeons in Link's Awakening.
I hate that one where you have to like smack the pillars down with a ball.
Yeah.
And the boss on that's
I feel like if I played this game when I was a kid, maybe I'd have a lot more nostalgia for it and I like it more. But I was disappointed. I was expecting to be like, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm looking forward to this. I've been playing this for years, and I just found it frustrating. Didn't like the art style, and by the time I got sort of halfway through it, I was just looking forward to getting to the end of it. Really.
Is that the one with the cave music that goes?
Yeah. See, I like bits of music in that game.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that there's Kirby and Yoshi turn up. I think that's pretty cool.
There's Goombas in that game as well.
It's got like some fun kind of like childish elements to it, but I found the overworld just like I couldn't find my way around at all.
Yeah.
Like, I used the map a bit, but I generally like the map was a bit crap.
Yeah.
And I found it really. I couldn't remember where I'd been. Like even after I'd been playing it for hours, I was like, I can't remember how to get back there. I think I have to teleport from a different area to get back there, and I was like, oh, this is just stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was disappointed with it. It's my least favourite Zelda game out of all the ones I've completed.
You need to play Seasons and Ages because they use the same engine. It's just they're better games.
Well, I don't like the graphical style, so I'm not sure if I'll like those games.
That's
why I played
really
Minish
good.
Cap instead, because it's totally different.
Seasons I really like. I think Seasons out of that style of game. Plus it's made by Capcom. But I would recommend Seasons. Ages is much harder, but Seasons has a good mechanic in it. I've never completed it. It's bloody difficult. I can understand that. I mean, Link's Awakening is.
I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't think
cracks are starting to show.
It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like up there with other 2D Zelda games like Link to the Past or A Link Between Worlds, and I think the Minish Cap was a good game.
Yeah.
So that's that. I was disappointed.
It's weird for you saying about a Zelda game to be disappointed.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. So my most disappointing game is Sonic Mania, which might be a bit of a surprise. So why? So I really thought about this, and even when I played it, the game itself, like in terms of levels and stuff, like plays and feels like a classic Sonic game, and I can't fault it for that. But if you go back and play a lot of the boss fights in this game are really boring. They're not very well designed. The Oil Ocean Zone level 2 boss was just a nightmare. I died on that more than I probably should have. A lot of the time, these things weren't my fault. You get crushed really easily in this game.
That was so frustrating when I was playing
Chemical Plant 2.
Yeah,
you just get crushed in a couple areas on that level, and the more I played, I haven't completed it. I got to the last zone, I never completed it. And there's a lot of things I like about this game, but the fact that most of the boss fights were just really uninspired. Some of them went on far too long. The Metal Sonic fight was a bit confusing. The one boss fight that I liked, I'm colorblind, so it makes it even more difficult for me to do it, which is the Mean Bean Machine thing. I thought that was a great idea, but because it revolves around something that I have a deficiency in, it made it much harder for me to enjoy the game. Which could be easily fixed with just a colorblind mode added or something just for that section. But yeah, like, it's very much a game of two halves for me, because I liked the fact that these guys had gone back and made these classic feeling levels, played like an old Sonic game, with the right took the right bits from all the Sonics, from Knuckles and Sonic 3 and Sonic 2, good bonus stages and all that, and great soundtrack. But the actual boss fights, I was just like, wow, these are really, really boring and uninspired. But then I got a feeling that, to be honest, most of the Sonic boss fights are kind of a bit naff, aren't they? When you think about it, they're not the highlight of those games.
Yeah, from what I played, I thought they were better than like the old Sonic boss fights.
Yeah.
I thought like.
I think the thing is, like,
Sonic's a weird franchise.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking just the 2D ones. I'm not going to touch the 3D ones, but
even in the 2Ds, it's still like it's a broad spectrum of games.
But like, if you look at Sonic 2, the first boss, the one with the drill, like, at least that's kind of memorable. Maybe because it's old, it's memorable. But like, there's boss fights in Sonic 2 that I think they're not all particularly great, but they're like quite memorable. Like the Casino Night one's
comes
really
out of the liquid,
good.
fires a beam,
goes back
in the liquid, comes out of the liquid, fires a beam.
I quite like the one with the arrows where you have to like.
Quite a ruin one. Yeah, but I mean, even a lot of those boss fights, the thing about the old Sonic games was they were quite simple in terms of you have to hit the boss like 8 times or something, and you just avoid the mechanic. In some of these newer ones, like if you've never played Mean Bean Machine before, you've got to quickly realise that it's a match 4 game. Not you have to match 4 things up. It's not like Tetris where you just drop it and get rid of it. But like that's not too hard to learn. But then you got later on like the Metal Sonic one, you have to realise that to hit him, he finds out these like metal things that then occasionally will jump. So you have to time your jump so they go off on the right angle to hit him, and then run around, and like it goes on for like way too long. And some of the other boss fights like Oil Ocean 2, Oil Ocean 1, the first time I did it, he didn't even move. I killed him like that, and it was just like okay. So there was a lot of issues with that game, and I like Sonic games. I like the originals, and I really wanted to like this. And the more I think about it, the more I just think, yes, it's a good game, like level design, but they need to figure out around the cracks with that.
I don't know. What can you say about that, like the cracks and stuff? I think Sonic's just scorch earth, like just burn it all down and try and think of something new, because I don't know, it's just. It's like one of my like most beloved like nostalgic series to something I haven't played since like Dreamcast. It's just like since Sonic Adventures. It's like, yep, I'm done with Sonic now. It was a good ride. That was it.
To be fair though, I think you'd really enjoy Sonic Mania from start to finish. Like I think you'd actually, because it feels like an old game. There's nothing wrong with the level design. The level design is amazing. What they do with that is fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't played Sonic Mania. Like I'm assuming I probably would like it, but like it's still got the hang-ups of Sonic.
It's got the same issues as the classic Sonics have. So some of the same issues that 2 have and 3 has and 1 has. But the nice thing about it is some of those classic zones, like you take Flying Battery, which is from Sonic and Knuckles, I think. Like they did a good job of making that that particular zone a little bit harder to die from falling into a pit, so you don't feel like you're gonna die into bottomless pits. And that's the nice thing about the game that they changed in a good way, was that actually dying from falling into holes is much less of an issue. You're more likely to die from the obstacles on the level, and because it's slightly, you can see slightly further, you've got more time to react to things. So I think, like, fair play to them, they made fantastic levels. I think it's just the boss fights that really let that game down. But I would say play it, because I think you'll get that nostalgia.
Boss fights is an interesting one, because like boss fights they never really were the highlights.
No, I think they're just particularly bad in this game. They're not. I've played a lot of boss fights in 2D and 3D games now, to the point where you can kind of spot off like something that's fun and interesting versus something that's very uninspired or very basic.
Yeah. And
the thing is, I know with Sonic you can have jump, spin dash, and stuff, and that's it. But like, there's just better boss fights in the older games. I think Casino Night or Mystic Cave Zone. Simple concepts, but they're just fun. Like you kind of know what you're doing. Whereas this game, they get overly complex in some of them, and then there's one where you have to avoid missiles that goes on for like 5 minutes.
I can understand what you mean. Oh, you're running. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to do that. That's boring. So that was. It's weird to say that, but I think that was by far the most disappointing game I've played this year.
Yeah,
so,
that's fair enough.
So
I can dig that.
2 things left. Let's get on to my favourite category, which is how much your ears bled when listening to these games, or best soundtrack or audio. Mr. Mark, what is the game that you have enjoyed the soundtrack of?
It's StarCraft 1, the Terran music.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I just love it.
Yeah, it is good.
Like, I know that StarCraft 2 also has a great soundtrack, but I think I played StarCraft 1 more.
You really hit that game hard.
I get that song stuck in my head like nearly every day.
Yeah.
My default setting is Terran music in my brain.
Yeah,
I'm not thinking about anything else.
It is good.
It's like
like even in a game of good music, it's
And like there is some other good music, like the Protoss music's quite kind of mysterious and quite cool. The Zerg music I can't remember very well.
It's just atmospheric. It's
kind
got
of
a good guitar riff on one of them, but
yeah, like mainly it's about Terran music. It just reminds me of like
Space
just
Cowboys.
loading up a level, that music kind of coming in, and I'm being like, right, gonna build my base, get my tanks out. Like it just reminds me of going to it's an ultimate going to war music.
It's a very
like,
cool factor, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really close between that and I don't know whether we're doing honourable mentions now or later, but
I haven't done it yet.
Well, we'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah,
both of you've done honourable mentions.
I'm gonna go through everything anyway again later, but I'm probably gonna wait until the end now.
Well, in case I don't remember it later, I nearly put Super Mario 3D Land.
Yeah.
Because that's great, and I love Mario music, and it's so joyful, and I loved it. but I chose this one just because of how like much it gets stuck in my head.
I mean,
And
it's so good.
yeah,
It's so good. There's 4 tracks I think for each race, or 5 if they add.
kind of moved on to StarCraft 2 now, and it's a lot easier to play, and like the campaign is better.
But you get to listen to both the soundtrack of the first game and the second game.
But the first one is
Yeah,
just
that's
like
true.
Yeah.
resonated with me,
It's-
and I really enjoy it. I really like it.
It's the reason why I personally play Terran, and not only because the mechanics are similar to other RTS games for the most part in terms of how humans work, but yeah, like I think good music really makes a big difference. And
Yeah.
because I'm the same as you, like I love the Terran music. Like when I load up, like Fruity will tell you, I'm always like nodding along when I'm playing, like whether it's
Yeah,
StarCraft
yeah.
1 or 2. Like I
Yeah.
love it. I think it's great, like humming to it because it just has that Wild West kind of space cowboy. Everyone's from the south, you know.
Yeah.
You know, your tanks are rolling
Fire
out.
it up.
Yeah, it's cheesy as hell, but I think that is why it works so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, need a light. Like, no matter my issues with the first StarCraft, like the music is one of the most
It's one
wonderful
of the
things
best
about
things
it.
about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And I'll
Oh,
tell you what,
God,
I'd
yeah.
love to see like one of those video games live play like a lot of the music from that game, like big orchestra or something. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Well, actually, a track from each race would be amazing. But yeah.
But yours.
No, we're gonna come to me last.
Okay.
I think we're gonna go to Mr. Fruity.
Mine.
Let's see if I've heard of this game.
It's
No.
kind of funny when you look at what I've written down. Mine, which I realised is still going in this year. I was looking at stuff. Mine is Shovel Knight,
Yes.
because Spectre Knight came out this year.
Yes. Just
So I was like, more excuses to put Shovel Knight in
I
best
have
music.
played that game,
Yeah.
and I love that music, but I didn't play it this year. I played it last year, so
you didn't play the expansions either, so
No.
technically
Yeah,
you could-
because I
otherwise that probably would be like at the top of my soundtrack. If
Yeah.
I also forgot entirely. I was like, oh yeah, King Knight's now, yeah.
King Knight's
Apparently it's early 2018. I was like, oh, next year, best music.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, what can I say? The music is genius. Like, the guest composers, the main composer, which I'm blanking on his name.
Jake Kaufman.
That's it, Jake Kaufman. It's just so good. Like, the first level music is literally
Planes at
one
Passage.
of... It's literally one of the best new songs in video games. Like,
It's the best NES
It's
sounding track.
going to be around, like, forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's up there with, like, Green Hill Zone, with, like, World 1-1, in my
Yeah.
mind. Like, it's just
Castlevania.
amazing. And I loved, like, the main reason why I thought it still deserves it was just because, like, with Plague Knight, when they reimagined all the music,
Yeah.
but it's, like, the same but different. Like, it's so hard to do that. And then, like, yeah,
Spectre Knight.
music
same.
in Spectre Knight is still, like, amazing.
The
Not as much as the Shovel Knight to Plague Knight,
yeah.
I would say, but like still to rework things and have them be like good. It's really hard when you try and keep that vein of something and like reimagining it for like the third time. Like, yeah, it's just very impressive.
I do like the fact that with Planes of Passage in the original Shovel Knight, it's like during the day, it's very like, let's go! And when you play
Yeah.
Spectre Knight, it's very much chilled back. It's like a very like, you know, it's nighttime, it's kind of twilighty, it's very stripped back, and it's a very different feel to it. And even
Yeah.
though I think the Shovel Knight campaign is the best music, it was cool to hear a lot of those tracks in a
Oh
very
yeah,
different
Shovel
take.
Knight, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about it. I forgot it was out this year. But yeah, that game, like you said, it's going to be known. It's going to be up there with like, you know, whatever that Castlevania track is. And
It's
like,
crazy. So I remember like before Shovel Knight came out and there was like so much hype and anticipation. People were like, oh shit, like this is like going, like they've successfully launched and like, oh shit, they're like gonna be out on like consoles and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, it just blew up so much.
It's
Now it's almost,
incredible.
it almost feels like it's like always been there, even though it's only been like, I don't know, 3-4 years since it first released,
yeah,
probably.
something like that. Yeah, 3 years, I
Probably
think.
say like 2015. I'd probably
Yeah.
say.
But I think it's
Yeah,
a
it's
beautiful
crazy.
Kickstarter story that went right.
Yeah, but I can get something that's like was definitely not around 4 or 5 years ago. The people being like, "Oh, we should be in like Smash Brothers," like, "Oh, we should be doing this stuff." Like, it's crazy how like just well made that game is and how perfect they
Blown
are.
up. Yeah.
The stuff they do with charity and stuff. Like, not only is it like an amazing company and an amazing story, it's also like a really amazing product. Like, all
Three
the-
more
all the-
amiibo are coming
yeah.
out. More amiibo for
all
me
the
to buy.
All the sounds, Not even just the music, like all the sounds.
Yeah,
in it
sound,
are
the
amazing.
sound, audio, and everything like that's
Like
so incredible.
it's amazing, like reimagining of Ode, and just it sounds like it should be in the catalog.
Yeah.
Everyone else's Ode games.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best NES game made in years, essentially. Even though
Yeah.
they did it right in terms of that, and the soundtrack is just. If this game had come out on the NES, it almost feels like it could be made by Capcom. It has a very Capcom feel to it, like those types of games.
It's got the Mega Man composers, isn't it?
Yes, does a few of the tracks.
One or two of the tracks.
Yeah, and it has like the sort of pogo attack, which is from straight out of DuckTales and stuff, which is Capcom made. But I completely forgot that Spectre Knight came out this year, but that entire soundtrack is amazing.
Deserves everything it gets.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's very good. It kind of puts it doesn't put my choice to shame, but I wish I kind of remembered that in this list. But anyway, what did I pick? So this was a tough year. This was some bloody good music came out. But this all boils down to one thing that I'll get to reasons why I didn't pick the other ones when we get to honorable mentions. But Snake Pass, right? Probably not a choice you thought I was going to go with.
Has a great soundtrack.
It has David Wise on it.
So peaceful.
He is.
I'm not overly surprised with David Wise doing the music.
When I told these guys the other day that I spent an hour and I went through 4 or 5 games, and eventually I was listening to pretty much all the soundtracks for them, and I got to Snake Pass and I was like, I can't not have this as my number one. It sounds like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which is one of my favourite soundtracks. It sounds like David Wise. Like he makes the best jungle music. Ukulele's not out on the Switch. I've not played it yet. He made a track on that called Jungle Challenge. That's like probably my most listened to video game music this year. I would put it on this list, but I haven't played this game. And I just as much as I love Snake Pass, the music almost outdoes it a little bit within the game. Like, the game's great. Like the game's really fun, but the soundtrack to me is like he does a thing that no one else does, where it's like incredibly catchy, but also very relaxing.
Yeah.
All the Donkey Kong Country games, pretty much everything he's worked on, like he's my favourite composer.
He has a very good style.
Yeah.
He's up there with like a lot of the like prolific composers.
He's English as well, which is not common. Most video game composers, especially the Japanese ones, are sort of the giants, aren't they?
Yeah, like the Nobuetsu,
the Final Fantasy guy, Kojo Kondo from Mario and Zelda. You know, like those guys are fantastic. But David Wise, I mean, he basically made Jungle Hijinks, which is the first level for Donkey Kong Country, which is my favourite piece of video game music ever. And for him to still be making music, especially those jungle themes and those sort of really cool like sort of tribally themes and other things that he does in these worlds is just incredible. And listening to the fire theme that he did, I haven't got there in the game, but I listened to it and I was like, this is different enough, but also it's got the same, it's got his mark on it, but it's got an amazing bass line in it, and I was like, wow, this is great. And I was just like, it's this game came out this year. It was, it's a very cool concept and it has probably my favorite composer on it, and quite frankly I was like, that's it. There is no, you can take the other games that I was going to put on here and they've got
throw them in the bin.
Yeah, they've got amazing soundtracks, they've got amazing composers, but when it comes down to it, it's like, you know what, this is a soundtrack that I'll always come back to and listen to. And even if I just want to, sun's coming up in the morning and it's like I need some just David Wise music, this is definitely
it's just, you always know, like, pretty much all of our like nominations, like we all agree are like very good music. Yeah. It's that thing where like a video game music like transcends just being a part of like a multimedia thing.
Yeah.
To something you actually like get in your head, you wake up with it in your head, you put it on like your phone or you listen to it when you're at the gym. Like it's that point when it just is strong enough to stand on its own.
Yeah.
Which I think is something that all these musics have in common.
Yeah.
So I've only played Snake Pass once, but like I remember the music being amazing, and it's really peaceful and lovely and happy. And I feel like if it wasn't like that, then that game would get stressful a lot more quickly.
Yeah.
Because it is quite difficult to get hold of used to the controls and get into the game. But because it's got such nice, peaceful, happy music,
graphics as well,
it makes you persevere, because it's like, this music's like making me feel a bit more chilled out about trying to wrap myself around some bamboo.
That problem in life.
I absolutely agree with what Fruity saying as well. Like, there are a lot of games that have come out over the years that, you take the original Doom, was it E1 M1 I think it's called, the Duke Nukem theme, Super Mario Brothers the first level theme, Green Hill, Castlevania, Shovel Knight, like you were saying. Like there throughout history, there are certain games where you might not like the games, but you know the music. I've never played Final Fantasy, but I know some of the music from it because it's
so iconic.
Battle and maybe I'm a Lion,
Cosmo Canyon,
like, Man the Machine Gun,
like
Dancing Mad.
I mean, I can sit here and name Unreal Tournament for me,
Chrono Trigger as well.
Chrono Trigger
is amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, and like a lot of people usually go to RPGs like Xenoblade Chronicles, any of them, because they obviously have like these massive scores, but like. It depends on what you want. Like I might, feel like I want something quite bubbly in my head. Something like Mario. Mario's brilliant for that. You want something jolly, or take Chemical Plant.
Very nearly. It's like not like one of the honourable ones because it's not a game I actually play because I have a PS4 yet. But like it's one of the ones I very nearly wrote down like Persona 5 on.
The soundtrack.
That soundtrack is
amazing.
So good.
It's amazing.
It works so well.
So funky.
Yeah. Like that's one of the ones I was like, oh man, I haven't technically played it. I watched a Let's Play like all the game because it's just Persona's like 3-4. It's like I love those games so much.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh man, it's basically what I'm getting the PS4 just to play it on my own. Yeah, that soundtrack is also just amazing.
That's the problem. It's tough. That's why this for me was the most hardest choice out of all of these because it's we all love music. Right?
Yeah.
As people who love music, like to me, if a game has a crap soundtrack, no matter how good it is, like it's gonna it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. I don't want to put on different music. I want to listen to what the game's got to offer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have enjoyed Unreal Tournament back in the day as much if it wasn't for the fact that game has amazing like drum and bass and like kind of these very dancey tracks, but it works so well and like very sci-fi sounding and it was amazing.
Imagine playing a Mario.
Time Split is an amazing soundtrack.
Like that works so well with the game.
Yeah, GoldenEye has an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So
it's a really important way of getting you like lost in the game. So if the music's like bad, it makes it so much harder to like immerse yourself into it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.